Hello everyone. As Joanna mentioned, my name is Juan Lara, and in this video we will discuss the importance of understanding and fulfilling your responsibilities as an importer so you can ensure that your imports are processed smoothly and efficiently. We're going to divide this presentation in three parts. The first one is who is involved in the import. The second one are responsibilities related to the shipment, which means which information we need to collect to produce the right documentation. And third, responsibilities related to customs, which involves being aware of and abiding by the rules and regulations determined by customs. So let's talk about the first part. Who is involved in an import? First, we got the importer, which is the owner or the buyer. Then we have the shipper, which could be the producer, the seller, or just the exporter. And then we have the freight forwarder, which is in charge of preparing all the documents and make the arrangements for the transportation of the goods. Then we have the transporter, which is the ocean carrier, the airline, or the trucking company if you are importing from Mexico or Canada. Then we have the customs broker. Customs brokers are private individuals or corporations regulated and licensed by the CBP to help importers comply with the federal requirements governing imports. And finally, we have the consignee, which can be the buyer or the receiver of the cargo. Now we're going to talk about the second part. Responsibilities related to the shipment. It involves collecting the necessary shipment information to produce the specific documents. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is the product classification. So how we classify the product? There is this international system called in English, or in the United States at least, the Harmonized Tariff Schedule, and it gives you codes for a product in specific or family of products that and it consists, each code has 10 digits, and with that code you can determine what are the rate of the duties, how much duties are you going to pay, or if there are other regulations that you need to apply to that product. Remember, CBP is not the only agency involved. There are other agencies, like more than 20, that can be involved in the import process, depending on the product that you are bringing. Um, who can help you with this code? The first person I would ask is the seller, the exporter in the country of origin, because usually they know better their product than what we as importers or as a customs broker or as a freight forwarder they know. So those 10-digit codes, the first six codes, 6 digits, are universal. So if the seller gives you those six first digits, it would be very helpful for us, the customs brokers or the freight forwarder or you, to determine what is the code for your product. Um, this and with oh, I already talked that. I already said about the duties that apply to each code. And now the second thing that we want to talk about, we want to be careful with, is the marking of the country of origin. So everything that is imported in the United States has to be marked with the country of origin. Why? Because that also determines duties, if any, or quota rules that will be subjected to the shipment. So everything that is imported has to be marked with the country of origin. The third one, it's the value determination. You as an importer, you need to be very careful, very accurate in the value you declare of your shipment, because there are there is always people that try to be smart, and they undervalue the, the the shipment, so they can avoid duties, um, and that can have dire consequences. You can those consequences could be including fines or penalties, or even they can even ban you from further imports. And if you're in the importing business, well, you don't want to be banned by customs. So you have to be very careful and accurate with the value of the shipment that you declare. The fourth one, it's also important. All of them are important, and but this one is the intellectual property. You have to be very careful. Um, if the product that you are trying to bring to import infringes intellectual property rights, customs can seize your shipment. So you need to be very vigilant to ensure that your product bears authentic trademarks and you have written permission to import the product. You need you need documents to support what you are saying, that you are authorized to import that. If customs thinks or you are not able to support this, they can they have the authority, customs have the authority to either return your shipment to where it came from, or worse, destroy it. And well, this would be terrible, right? And in additional to that, guess who's who will be paying for those extra expenses? Yes, you. You're you are the one paying for that. And I remember a couple of years ago, like, well, not a couple, but 3 or 4 years ago, um, this customer brought, uh, we didn't know, but he brought them um, aromatherapy kits, and those are the ones that connect through Bluetooth with your cell phone to turn on, to turn off. Well, each package and each product, each item had the Bluetooth logo on them, and they didn't have the authorization. They could not demonstrate, even though the seller assured them that they had it. Custom, Customs didn't validate that, so it got seized and destroyed, unfortunately. So it was a pretty good size of shipment, so it went to the lost. Um, so be careful, and make sure you have the authorization to do that. And all these, when we talk about fines, these penalties, um, it sounds scary, but you just need to follow the guidelines, and you will know the ins and outs of the entire process, and that would be easier for you to follow, and be in compliance with all the imports. So now let's continue with the third and the last part of this video: responsibilities related to customs. These involve being aware of and abiding by the rules and regulations determined by customs. But before we do this and talk about this, I want to let you know that I left in the description a link to a document with information about the reasonable care, which can be important for you if you have a problem with customs. And it's just, you just click it, download it, save it, and it could be very helpful for you in general for importing procedures and so on and so forth. So the first one are customs duties. Customs duties are commodity specific unless the given commodity and country are part of a U.S. free trade agreement. You will probably have to pay some type of duties. Some of them are low duties or higher duties, depending on where it's coming from, and and the type of product, of course. Like I said, is specific by commodity. Now, number two are anti-dumping and countervailing duties. These are special duties, and what they use it for is to compensate the subsidy that some governments give to the exporters to make less expensive their products. But to compensate that and be fair, we have this type of duties. Now the next one is a punitive tariff, and it's more it's of course an additional tariff, but of course, but it's to hold a country accountable for unfair trade practices. So it's kind of from, yeah, just trying to make everybody playing fair in this international trade. Now, number four, unauthorized entry of restricted imports. So you remember when a couple of minutes ago when we talked about the harmonized tariff schedule and the HS code, the 10 digits. Well, that's where this code becomes handy, because it will, besides the duties, it will tell you restrictions. It's not only the CBP that is involved in import. It could There are like 20 or so other agencies that could be involved depending on what you are bringing or you want to import. So that code will tell you if there are some restrictions on the goods that you want to bring in. Now, if there are restrictions and there are other agencies involved, make sure that you confirm with the manufacturer that the product is registered in those agencies that are involved. And of course, always ask for evidence. So to wrap up, knowing your roles and responsibility as an importer is key to ensuring that your imports are legal and in compliance with US customs regulations. There are resources available in the CBP website, are very valuable and important if you want to understand or know better what we cover in this video. Um, I strongly recommend that you visit them and check research that can be helpful for you. Um, we cover a lot of the material, and but you know what? Don't let that intimidate you. The more you know, the better for a smooth ride on the journey of importing. Um, I left the link to the CVP website in the description. You are more than welcome to click it and check that website. That can be very helpful at one point. I hope you like this video, and if you want to stay up to date on the latest developments in international logistics, best practices for importers, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Bye bye, and have a great day.